Okay, so while Lynn was screwing around, in other words, she didn't come out with the camera, I freaking built the floor for this and set it up there. Because
now you said you had just enough.
I had just enough
landscape timbers, yeah,
and just enough landscape timbers left over.
And those are deck boards on the ground.
Uh-huh.
Those are pressure treated deck boards. I recognize them.
Those are pressure treated deck boards left over from the build that I'm using to stand it on, because at this point in time, I only care about shit lasting the next 20 years. Because how long am I going to live and care about shit?
Yeah.
So, otherwise I would have put it on rock or brick or something, but that ought to hold for 20 years. But anyway, so I put a floor in here using pieces of 2x I had. You can tell the little half moon piece.
Yeah.
That's from where your kids made a stock for one of your class projects.
Oh, that's right. Oh, God, that's old.
Yeah, it's old. But anyway, so I've got to go in and put bottom boards in and shore it all up. But I got it up. I wanted to get it up on the floor and get it at least somewhat stable, because it was getting ready to fall apart over here. And if it's supposed to rain. See, look at the sky. Nasty and gray looking.
Yep, it's supposed to
It's
pour.
supposed to rain today at some point, and then it's supposed to rain for 2 days. I don't want this to get rained on for 2 days.
Right.
Then try to move it.
Right.
Also, what I need to be working on is the cabinets in the treehouse.
Right.
But I need some good materials for that. I don't want to be using this kind of shit. This is the kind of shit that I just pulled out of the shop
Right.
to use on this. I don't want to be using this to build the skeleton for my cabinets.
No, we actually want some
So
good 2x4s.
I actually want something that's going to make it easier to build and better to build and blah, blah, blah. And my son, the genius, and his wife and kids gave me a $50 gift certificate for the hardware store for my birthday. That's what you got to get your kids to do, see? Give you shit that you can actually use. But anyway, so I'm going to go get the wood to do the cabinets. I decided that. I'm like, you know what, this is stupid. Because I started to use this crap to do, but then I got the house and I had to do something with it anyway.
And it'll be perfect in here.
And it'll be perfect. And
you've decided to leave this.
I have decided to do the snack, to leave this out so they can pretend like they have a little store
snack
and
shed.
shit. And yeah, so I have decided to do that. So now it's just shoring it up and doing shit. Which I need to do before it rains, because otherwise I ain't going to get shit done today. So I'll talk to you fuckers later.
Yeah, bye-bye.
Okay, so Lynn wanted to point out a couple of things I did after the last time. I put this board in, which shores this all up, and put in these little trim boards, which aren't really trim boards, they're actually stabilizing arms. And all the way around the bottom, I've now shored it up pretty good.
On the inside.
Now I'm working on some other stuff. What I'm doing right now, watch out, you're going to trip over the teeter-totter.
Okay.
Okay, what I'm doing right now is actually pretty ingenious. So I did decide to leave this.
Yes.
Okay, and it's going to be a counter, which means people are going to lean on it, kids are going to sit on it. As you can see, it's got too much give. These were originally the sides of the nest box.
Oh, of course.
I cut about 1.5 inches off the edge to make them smaller so that they wouldn't stick out. And now I'm putting them here to brace this up so that, as you can see, I've already got one over here.
Yeah.
And you can see
you can actually lean on it.
Up.
Right.
You can lean on it without worrying about breaking it, and that's the idea. And I'm connecting it to the 2x6 or whatever it was that Tony had holding the son of a bitch up in the first place. So.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, there's a
2x6 underneath.
The whole thing. That's one of the reasons I decided not to take it out, because it turned out this was pretty sturdy.
Yeah, I see that under there now. Yeah.
Now I'm just going to connect it to the side, and I'm going to connect it to the top. Alright. That's pretty good. I'm not going to sling in a couple from the side here. Probably go inside
and just shoot them from the inside.
Yeah, and well, probably gonna try to get. Nope, I can't. I don't have enough room. But that'll work. I'll probably put a board on the inside there.
Yeah.
down here. Now I had one sticking out over there, but I'll probably put a board here to nail to.
Oh, in that corner,
Yeah,
so you have a nailer
I'll probably just grab anything. I'll grab anything in my,
in your pile of, oh my God, what is it? So why, it wasn't strong enough to hold it before, it was actually pulling the wall off. So how is it strong enough now? Is it because you've got it attached to the floor?
What are you talking about?
The nest boxes were pulling this off before?
Well, because they were very heavy.
Oh, I see. And you've taken off most of the nest box itself.
Yeah, I took from those were on top of that. And now they're underneath, so
Okay.
it's going to help. Now I'm just going to take this little piece of board that I just scavenged,
Yes.
and I'm going to put it right there, and just use it as basically a nailer. But everything you do, I don't care how little the piece of board is, everything that you add makes it stronger. And now, see, now I have something good and solid
To nail to, yeah.
I can hit it.
Right. Okay, I'm going to turn off while that's on. Okay.
Okay, I'm marking this right now for where the, I know this one's in the middle of that board, so that's good, but I'm having, this one I'm having to figure out, there's a nailer, there's only one nailer, so I've got to figure it out. And I'm marking the board so I know where it is. And I'm going to use these pieces of tin.
Because you're going to be doing the roof.
None of them are the right length,
Of course not.
because day of the week that ends with why?
Yes.
God, why?
Yes.
At any rate, so that's what I'm doing now. So I get out my always helps with your bit bag to put your stuff in something that's easy to handle. So, and you're saying, well, what about the little strips? Well, I have those too. You know what? After a while, you get tired of those fucking little strips, and then you just wind up with shit all in there. So I like this. So this is my little thing. It's like, it works really good for holding the bits. Because, of course, like I said, for reasons known only to the manufacturer, none of the goddamn bits heads are ever the same. Whether you're working with hex heads or
Whatever it is.
else, it's like look around, hunt around, figure out what the flavor of the week is, because goddamn, they're not going to make it easy by having every single one be the same, though there's no excuse for them not to be.
Right.
With the exception of great big over little bitty, there should probably be 3 sizes.
Little bitty, great big, and
Yeah.
in between.
Yep. And I'm not going to do any real measuring. Why is that, people?
Measuring.
Measuring's for socks.
Yes.
So I already put it up here. I know that the longer piece of this is not long enough. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this up here, one of the short pieces, then I'm going to put the long piece on. So I put it on here. I'm going to have it overhang quite a bit in the front, and then a little bit on the bottom, because the more overhang you have, the better your building's going to last. I'm not going to have it hang over too far, because no place to put anything.
Yeah.
There we go. Come on, you bastard.
There we
It
go.
helps if you put it the right way when
Oh, you
doing
mean
it.
in instead of out?
Yes, it helps if you're screwing them in instead of just screwing around. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go ahead and go up.
Yeah,
this way.
because if you do that, you
Because
can't
when
put the
I
one over it.
overlap, I can put it. That's exactly
Right.
where it goes.
Yeah.
So. That didn't do shit. I don't think. No, I need to go over some.
Yeah, at least it's holding it from sliding.
Yeah, it's keeping it from sliding, but it's not good.
That one's good.
That one's good. I probably should get that ladder that I was just standing on to do the rest of this roof.
Okay, I'm going to turn this off and go get that ladder. Okay. You are on.
Okay, so this is going to be a huge overlap. Why am I doing a huge overlap? Because otherwise I would have had to cut this tin here, this tin here. And what's the freaking point? Because you never or rarely going to have a reason to use that much of a
Yeah.
piece of tin. I already have some of those
Yeah.
that I couldn't use.
Yeah.
So there's that. I want to put this good edge out. I'm having a hell of a time because the tin needs to flip. So we'll see if I can find a way to do it.
It doesn't want to work.
Do it. Yeah, it's like it's not going to do it. I don't know, some bitch. I could put it up a little bit. No, I'd rather have it laying down a little bit. Okay, that's just the way it's going to be.
Okay.
Why? Because I said.
Okay, I'll hang up
Now I have
so
to
I can
get
hold.
the same distance. All right, so I didn't want to tell you this, but I have to tell you, when the camera was off, I used a tape measure.
I know.
I know.
Terrible.
Because I needed to know the distance that this stuck out and have that stick out the
Same distance, right?
So,
Oh well.
measuring's for sucks, but I did it anyway. I cannot tell a
sometimes-
lie. Sometimes you have to measure. But if you don't have to measure and you're measuring, that's when you're a suck.
Okay, I'm going away again.
Okay, so I had the tin stick out because I wanted it over that shelf, because if that shelf is in the rainfall, it's going to bring all the water in. We're just going to have the same rot that was happening when it was a nest box hanging off the back. So I brought my tin out. I went ahead and put this top piece was cut this long. I decided to leave the length because it just gives it that much more covering. It's not going to hurt a damn thing. So I will round these off by taking pliers and tipping them over so people don't run into the corners. I put in a 2x4 here that I nailed to, and a 2x4 here just to give it some more stability. Okay.
And then you put
And then
uprights.
I put uprights. I took some old pieces of the barn poles again.
Right.
That were left, that I cut for the barn. That were left over. I took those, put the 2x4s up there. It was a big pain in the ass. You didn't get to see it, but it worked.
Yeah.
And basically I put the screw in here and put it through the bottom, and then I just screwed it to the tin. And now I'm taking a piece and putting it here, and this will give it all kinds of stability. So it's just tying it all together. Anytime you do a bracing like that, it gives your building all kinds of strength. So every cross brace, in fact, if Lynn will go around the front in a minute, you'll see that I put a cross brace in the back of the building too. But anything that's done like that, that's just going to give all kinds of stability to your building.
Okay, in the front, up this way?
Yeah, on the back wall underneath.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I put okay, now I got to get my ladder.
Oh, yeah, I see that.
Yeah.
Yeah, to help because it was so wobbly.
And as you can see, the roofing screws I used wound up coming through because, of course, the ones that should have worked were too damn short.
Right, and the medium ones have been all
The
used
medium
up.
ones I used all up. I'm going to have to whine until Tony gives me some more.
Yeah, that's right.
Just like,
Have you got any more to throw? Yeah, have you got any more to throw away?
Any more of those just laying around? Doing nothing? Yeah. If you do, you can throw them away over here. Yeah. And, yeah, so I'll have to cut them off. I'll take my angle grinder,
And cut
as
them
you've
off.
seen me do many times before, and I'll just cut it off.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going away. Okay, once again, why did you turn it up instead of down? You're turning those corners
so I'm
up.
turning the corners up, and I'm dulling the corners out. Which anytime you're putting tin, and it's where somebody can run into it, you want to do that. You don't turn it under, because if they can walk under it, it'll catch their clothing
Underneath.
and or cut their head that way.
Okay.
So you turn it up, and there's nothing sharp.
That makes sense. Okay, good tip.